There is no humanitarian corridor in place as such, and we haven't been involved in discussions to establish such a corridor. So on the humanitarian corridor question, I think I've issued several comments and statements on this already. But a humanitarian corridor is quite a formal legal issue, and it requires agreement between sovereign states. So it requires the government of Bangladesh and the Myanmar counterparts and potentially any other groups that are involved to agree formally. If there's an agreement, the UN can support, but that agreement, as I understand it, has not been established as yet. So I think any initiative to improve cross-border relations, any initiative to support people that are impacted by the conflict in Myanmar is very welcome and very supported by the UN. But there is no humanitarian corridor in place as such, and we haven't been involved in discussions to establish such a corridor. So I just want to clarify that it really is between governments. It's something that we can support once it's established, but there is quite a legal process behind something like a corridor. Corridor, I don't know where the humanitarian corridor terminology came from, but it would require an agreement between Myanmar and Bangladesh, and including with the armed groups, to provide security if something was like that was agreed. As far as I know, there has been no agreement yet between Myanmar and Bangladesh, and to provide support through a humanitarian corridor. There is assistance going in through different routes into Myanmar. I don't have the full picture. So that support is ongoing, and we will continue working on that. In terms of the level of aid in the Rohingya camps, as I've said, we have a huge funding shortfall. It's really dramatic. So what we're doing is trying to prioritize the most urgent needs of the community, and we'll continue to work with the government and our donors to provide that basic support. I am not going to comment on the political positioning of Awami League or BNP. I mean, the UN is not involved in politics. That's really a question you should ask the government and the political parties. Last year, we mobilized $549 million under the Joint Response Plan for refugees and host communities. However, this year, we're expecting funding to drop significantly. It already has. This is not a Bangladesh issue. This is a global issue that we're facing across the world. We are working with government, the NGOs, to provide life-saving assistance, including food, healthcare, shelter, and protection. But we have to prioritize some of that support, given the drops in financing that we're facing.